Hello everyone, I am Suhas Netajamore. I welcome all the research scholars of various universities, faculty members, paper presenters, and the chairpersons of the program present here. With great pleasure to be a part of the World Conference on Economic Business and Agricultural Development. It is organized by National Academy of Agrarian Sciences of Ukraine, Europe, National Research Center, Institute of Agrarian Economics, Odisha State Agrarian University, and Research Culture Society. It is sponsored by Scientific Research Association. The objectives of the conference, let me talk about it in brief. International Conference on Agricultural Economics and Development aims to bring together leading academic scientists, researchers, and research scholars to exchange and share their experiences and research results on all aspects of agricultural economics, business, and development. It also provides a premier interdisciplinary platform for researchers, practitioners, and educators to present and discuss the most recent innovations, trends, and concerns, as well as practical challenges encountered and solutions adopted in the fields of agricultural economy and development. Let me introduce the stakeholders of the event in brief. Research Culture Society. Research Culture Society is a government registered scientific research organization. Society is working for research community at national and international level to impart quality and non-profitable services. Society has successfully organized 100 and plus conferences, seminars, symposiums, and other educational programs at national and international level in association with different educational institutions. Educational institutions, colleges, universities are welcome for the Memorandum of Understanding, free to sign without any charge, for academic exchange, knowledge sharing, and collaboration to organize events with us. We are promoting and sponsoring educational events as well as publishing research work in collaboration. We also invite sponsorship from the industries, corporates, institutions, and government bodies for our educational programs. Let me introduce the National Academy of Agrarian Sciences of Ukraine to you. It started its activity in Ukrainian Academy of Agricultural Sciences on 22nd May 1931. From December 1990, Ukrainian Academy of Agricultural Sciences. The current status is valid from 6 January 2010 under the decree of the President of Ukraine number 8 by 2010 on granting the Ukrainian Academy of Agrarian Sciences national status. The Academy is state scientific organization based on state ownership and uses the rights of self-government body that resides in collegial governance and its selectivity, self-determination of its structure and theme of research, solution of sciences, scientific, organizational and personal issues, economic activities, and implementation of international scientific communication grounding on the laws of Ukraine. The National Academy of Agrarian Sciences of Ukraine includes 6 departments: Department of Agrarian Economics and Land Relations, Veterinary Medicine Department, Department of Agriculture, Amelioration and Mechanization, Department of Animal Sciences, Department of Scientific Support of Innovative Development, Department of Plant Growing. Now, let me talk about the National Research Center Institute of Agrarian Economics. It was established in 1956 under the name of Ukrainian Research Institute of Economics and Organization of Agriculture. Initially, the newly established institution was entrusted with the functions of research center for the development of the most pressing problems of the agricultural economy and the implementation of research result in agricultural production of the Ukrainian Soviet Social Republic. At the same time, the institute was to provide methodological assistance to agricultural economists from the various agricultural research institutions and universities in conducting research in the field of economic and organization of agriculture as well as in the training scientific personnel for today. The National Research Center Institute of Agrarian Economics, it is leading institution in agricultural policy. Scientists of the institute take an active part in the formation and implementation of agricultural policy in the state, legislative work in the Commission of the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine, preparation of presidential decrees and government resolutions in the last 5 years alone. More than 50 bills and decrees of the President of Ukraine, more than 20 resolutions of the Cabinet of Ministers and orders of the ministries and departments have been developed with the participation of scientists. The institute has the following scientific department: Department of Entrepreneurship, Cooperation and Agro-Industrial Integration, Department of Socio-Economic Development of Rural Areas, Department of Management, Public Administration and Administration, Department of Economic of Regional Development and Forecasting, Department of Land Relation and Natural Management, Investment and Logistic Department, Department of Pricing and Agricultural Market, Department of Organization of Research and Innovative Development, Department of Economics of Agricultural Production and International Integration, Financial and Credit and Tax Policy Department, Accounting and Taxation Department. Next, I should talk about Odisha State Agrarian University, Ukraine, Europe. It is an educational institution of the fourth level of accreditation, subordinated to the Ministry of Education and Science of Ukraine, established on the basis of the Odisha Agricultural Institute, which was founded in the beginning of 1918. Beginning in 1918, training for the agriculture at 3 departments: crop, social agronomy, and animal husbandry. In the late 30s, already had agronomic, viticulture, horticulture, zootechnology, veterinary, and land management faculties, which maintained close business relation with many agricultural enterprises. Many agricultural enterprises and research institutions of our state. The university is now a leading educational and methodological and scientific center for training highly qualified personnel for various agricultural production areas of the southwestern Black Sea. The training is conducted by educational and qualification levels: bachelor, specialist, master in faculties, faculty of the agri-biotechnology, faculty of engineering and economics, faculty of veterinary medicine. The university has a department for work with foreign citizens, which trains students at the preparatory department for admission and higher education and basic training at the faculties. After this brief introduction of the institutions who came together for a noble cause and make this event happen, I should quickly proceed to the presentation session. For this session, we have economics, Dr. Andriy Naida, Associate Professor of Department of Accounting and Taxation, PhD in Economy, Odisha State Agrarian University, Ukraine. Then Dr. Chirag M. Patel, Director, President, Research Culture Society, Scientific Research Association. We have them all as our chairperson. I welcome you all and I request you all to hold the chair of the chairperson of this session. Now, I request the first presenter, Professor Irina Kryukova, Head of the Department of Accounting and Taxation, Odisha State Agrarian University, with the paper entitled Sustainable Development of Agriculture, Modern Trends and Requirements. Please proceed, ma'am.
With such interesting presentation, Sustainable Development of Agriculture, Modern Trends and Equipments. Professor Irina Krukova is the head of Department of Accounting and Taxation, Odessa State Agrarian University. Please, Irina Krukova, we are listening to you.
Yes, Irina, you can share your screen. First of all, unmute yourself.
Ірина Крюкова, ви можете, ви на зв'язку?
Надія, можна мені привітальне слово, поки у Ірини підключається звук, там є збої зі зв'язком.
Окей.
Now, I call up here the next presenter, Olesia Wiecka, PhD, Senior Researcher, the Institute of Industrial Economics, National Academy of Sciences of Ukraine, with the paper What will the corporate income taxation future be in Ukraine by 2035? Delphi method. It is a recorded video. We will begin.
What is the future of corporate income taxation? Nobody knows for sure. What we know exactly is that the last decade has seen a growing trend toward economic digitalization. We also realize that the traditional approach to corporate income taxation does not meet the requirements of the new digital economy. This is why there has been renewed interest in searching for alternative approaches to corporate income taxation both worldwide and in Ukraine. My name is Olesia Wiecka, and I will present to you the results of the scientific research relating to the evaluation of alternative scenarios of corporate income taxation in Ukraine by 2035 in the terms of their desirability and probability. This research was made in the Institute of Industrial Economics of the National Academy of Sciences of Ukraine in the third quarter of 2021. My presentation consists of three main parts. First, I will present a brief summary of literature review. Second, I will explain the methodology of research. And lastly, I will share the results of the research. When we speak about the existing alternative approaches to corporate income taxation, we can divide them into three main groups. First group is scientific discussions. Second group is international initiatives. And finally, third group is national proposals. As you can see, so far there has been little agreement on the future of corporate income taxation. To solve this problem, we made an attempt to foresee the corporate income taxation future in Ukraine by 2035. For this aim, the Delphi method was chosen because it is an effective research method in the situation when the research problem is new and complex, information about the problem is not correct or unstable, there are factors that influence the problem but they cannot be parameterized, there are several alternative scenarios for problem solving, it is impossible to conduct experiments to monitor the progress and verify the results for each alternative scenario. 14 taxation experts from Ukraine and the Commonwealth of Independent States were invited for this study. During 4 rounds, experts evaluated alternative scenarios of corporate income taxation in Ukraine by 2035 in the terms of their desirability and probability. The first round was devoted to approving scenarios of the corporate income taxation in Ukraine by 2035. All scenarios were divided into 4 general groups. Group A, the tax remains unchanged. Group B, the tax rate is changed. Group C, the tax base is changed. Group D, the tax is replaced or abolished. After the first round, 14 alternative scenarios were approved. 11 of them were formulated by a research group through literature review and alternative approaches analysis.
Я можу
Last 3 scenarios were aided by experts. In the second round, experts evaluated all these alternative scenarios in the terms of their desirability and probability in Ukraine by 2035. The experts also were asked to formulate up to 3 arguments for their opinions. The experts used 2 scales for scenario evaluations. One scale was for evaluation of the scenario's desirability and second one was for evaluation of the scenario's probability. Both scales were from 1 to 5, where 1 meant that the expert had a strong conviction about the scenario's undesirability and low probability, and 5 meant that the expert had a strong conviction about the scenario's desirability and high probability. After all the experts had evaluated all scenarios, the research group calculated the interquartile range and the median for each scenario. The interquartile range less than 1 meant that the experts reached a strong consensus in the scenario's evaluation. The interquartile range between 1 and 1.5 meant that the expert reached a moderate consensus. In both situations, medians presented results in the form of statistical group responses. The interquartile range more than 1.5 meant that the experts had an inconsistency in opinions for the scenario. In rounds 3 and 4, the expert re-evaluated all scenarios to reach a consensus. The final results of the Delphi method research are presented in the current slide in the form of SWIN charts. They are also transformed in the ranking of corporate income taxation scenarios' desirability and probability. In summary, these results show 5 main points. First, all scenarios with strong and moderate consensus are undesirable and low probable. At the same time, the experts did not reach the consensus about the future of the traditional corporate income taxation. Second, after 4 evaluation rounds, the most desirable scenario expanding the bay through taxation of digital companies that have no physical presence in the country remained moderately inconsistent. However, this is currently the most discussed scenario in the world, which is a part of OECD initiatives Pillar 1 and Pillar 2. Third, the most undesirable scenario with the strongest consensus was increasing the basic tax rate, although it is considered by Nobel Prize laureate Joseph Stiglitz as one of the preferred scenarios for a particular group of countries. Fourth, the most discussed scenario in Ukraine since 2015, replacement of corporate income tax with tax on withdrawn capital, showed strong expert inconsistent on the desirability as well as moderate consensus on the low probability. And finally, fifth, the results of the Delphi method research did not close the discussion about corporate income taxation future in Ukraine, but only highlighted new issues that need further investigations. Thus, conducting such research on a regular basis should be a good foundation of making informed decisions about the future of the taxation system in Ukraine. The generalizability of these results are subject to certain limitations. For example, the experts from Ukraine and the Commonwealth of Independent States could affect the breadth of view on the research problem. The results of the study depend on the socioeconomic and institutional conditions in Ukraine and cannot be fully extrapolated to the tax system of the other countries. Before I conclude, I would like to thank my supervisor, Professor Valentin Vishnevsky, for his kind assistance in conducting this research. I am also grateful to all experts for their significant contribution to this investigation. Thank you for your attention, and I would like to further the discussion in this issue.
Thank you, Professor Olesa Wiecka. We are very thank you for your such interesting presentation. And now I want to introduce you Professor Irina Kryukova, Head of the Department of Accounting and Taxation, Odessa State Agrarian University, with her presentation, Sustainable Development of Agriculture, Modern Trends and Equipments. Please, Irina Kryukova, you can to start.
Of Ukrainian agriculture now. Ukraine has a very strong agrarian potential. Now the area of agricultural land in Ukraine is about 41 million hectares. The agrarian sector has about, in my report,
Yes.
agriculture in Ukraine is one of the main branch of national economy. Agricultural products account for 35% of national exports. You can see it. The main types of agricultural products are grain, sunflower seed, rapeseed, oil, chicken, and the share of agriculture in national gross domestic products is about 10%. Today, Ukraine is going to implement the concept of sustainable development in agriculture. Sustainable development is characterized by national science as the development of countries and regions when economic growth, material production and consumption, as well as other activities of society occur within the limits determined by the ability of ecosystem to recover, absorb pollution, and support present and future generation. The main elements of sustainable economic development are environmental composition, social and economic component. You can see some key indicators of modern state Ukrainian economy. Recently, the food security strategy of Ukraine for the period up to 2030 has been approved. It defines some priorities of agrarian activity and environmental protection. The modern development of national agrarian sector and rural areas of Ukraine are characterized by many problematic aspects. Among them are a significant percentage of degradation of agricultural land, a high level of energy intensity of production, the decline of certain livestock industries, the lack of specialized financial and credit infrastructure in the agrarian market, insufficient amounts of financial state support for the industry and rural areas, very low degree of intersectoral integration and low share of agricultural products in the value added of national products, very low income and welfare of rural residents. In accordance with the common agrarian policy of the European Union, the content of further sustainable development of agriculture and rural areas is interpreted within the concept of Green Deal, a strategic program of green agricultural economy. The main strategic ways of regulation of agrarian policy of sustainable development of the national economy in the context of strategic measures to regulate the agricultural sector in European Union should be the first, ensuring the quality and safety of food and agricultural raw products, supporting the promotion of agricultural products on world markets and on European market. Financial support for environmentally friendly agricultural production, stimulating the introduction of eco-technologies and measures for transition to a green economy. Financial and institutional support for rural development. Increasing the level of innovative activities of agrarian production on basis of eco and biotechnologies. Solving the problems of low life quality of the population of rural areas. Preservation and revival of natural resource potential of the agrarian sector for future generation. The main goal of strategic development of the agricultural sector in Ukraine in the context of sustainable development is to increase the competitiveness of environmentally friendly agriculture and rural areas, and of course to increase welfare of rural residents. Dear colleagues, that's all. I'm great you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your presentation. Your work shows the depths of your knowledge. Now, present here, then if she's
Present us report, formation of land ownership in agriculture. Miss Anastasia Bujora, please.
right here, we will invite the next presenter, Aditi Manish Joshi, with the paper entitled Framing of the Medical Plants Earning a Livelihood. It is a recorded video. Please be kind to play it.
Hello everyone, I'm Aditi Joshi and today I will be presenting on farming of medicinal plants earning a livelihood. The word agriculture has originated from Latin word ager that means land and the cultura meaning culture. 70% of its rural households still depend primarily on the agriculture for their livelihood, with 82% of the farmers being the small and the marginal. Agriculture has played a predominant role in the growth of many countries since ages. Agriculture has contributed a notable amount to the GDP, and it is the backbone of the economy. India is one of the richest floristic regions of the world, and it is well known for the ancient heritage regarding the medicinal plants and plant stock. India has 16 agroclimate zones and 45,000 different plant species, out of which 15,000 are the medicinal in nature. And the Indian system of medicine has been identified by 1,500 medicinal plants, out of 500 species are mostly used in preparation of drugs. Price violation is a major risk faced by the farmers. The study has been accomplished for the purpose of identification of socio-economic factors effective on the adoption of medicinal plant cultivation in Gujarat. High price volatility of medicinal crops has been a major concern in past few years of the farmers and the consumer. Cultivating is a piece of farming and it is the world's third biggest economy worth 2.1 trillion after the US and China. Second biggest market of rice, wheat, sugarcane, groundnut, vegetables, foods growth from the ground. And when you're building a house, the first thing you need to ensure that you have a strong base and which will support the remaining structure. The stronger the base, the better the building. And agriculture forms the base of an economy. If you go back to the history, you will find a civilization have always a floristic a ground region of the high agriculture yield nearer to the river. Agriculture forms backbone of any economy, and without a strong agricultural base, a nation will always find a difficulty to sustain its economical growth. And this is primarily because it will not able to meet the food demand of economy, not only does it sustain the state's food requirement, but also act a huge source of employment, and it also provides the opportunity for export. Farmers have adopted various approaches to overcome the difficulty faced with the conventional techniques and they have started implementation of intelligent strategy for selling their produce and planning the yield according to big by the technology and will help them to maximize their profit. So I have found some merits and demerits in the development of production of medicinal plants. So according to me, the first reason is unfair market price, lack of supply chain between producer and consumer, the lack of linkage between producer and consumer, standardization of medicinal plants, lack of awareness in farmers for the medicinal crop and their production profit, limited resources for the research. Research is limited towards a certain medicinal crop only, and lack of the support from the government towards the production of medicinal plant, and lack of availability of the marketplace for that produce. So we have collected the raw data from the egg market website, that website run by the Indian government Ministry of the Agriculture and the Farmers Welfare. So they contain the daily prices and the volume data of from the different market across the India. So we have collected the different crop data like ajwain, mint, isabgol, wheat, rice, maize, prices of the Gujarat. So we have collected like past 10 years data, and the crop are highly depending upon the local weather condition and the market arrival in addition to the historical crop prices. So we have also collected the Google Maps API to obtain a geometric coordinates information for the each market in the egg market website. And the three keys needs to immediately give attention, namely so data entry in egg market website, data availability, because egg market portal is frequently down and all the market price are not equally covered, and the data granularity, the volatility for the selected crop was analyzed using historical data for the past 5 years, and the standard deviation and mean price moment were the basis for the volatility measures. And price volatility is one of the major risks that is faced by the farmers today, and yet there are limited means available to the farmers to mitigate this risk. And within this content, the reliability of a price prediction can help farmers to anticipate the price movement and the plan their market accordingly. A price trend in various market of Gujarat studied for Ajwain Ishabgul within the aim to forecast the price volatility and the issues that provide the multi-level prediction, thereby increasing its usability. By increasing the productivity of medicinal crop, farmers' gain might increase as the compared to the traditional pattern crop, as it has many medicinal benefits, and the cultivation of medicine has great demand in the market, which sound to be a great choice for the farmers. And analysis of the intra-mandi prices of seasonal crop and medicinal crop discovered that the price keep varying with the peak season, and the medicines gain more attention, though it is affected by the various factors and will be always in demand. So might be possible. So farmers are nowadays repeated follows the repeated pattern. So farmers should try a medicinal crop, and that has been a great demand in the market, and that sound be a great choice. So farmer will gain a more profit in terms of produce and in terms of money also. And so that's all about the medicinal plants and how medicinal plant improves the farmer's life. Thank you. So for any query or questions, you can email me in mention. Thank you. For any query or questions, you can email me on the mention email ID.
This is Dr. D. Parvati, Assistant Professor of Botany, Pingil Government UG and PG College, Warangal, Telangana State, India. My topic is study the organic farming as an essential tool of multifunctional agriculture in Warangal urban district in Telangana. This is my complete picture of my project work, the organic farming. Today, I am going to discuss with these contents: abstract, introduction, studies related to organic farming, and material methods, result, discussion, and conclusion references. Coming to abstract, why I have chosen this topic today, the world is facing health related issues because of eating non-organic food, because farmers are there using fertilizers and pesticides, increasing food consumption, and this they do not know what are disadvantages of using fertilizers and pesticides. So we considered these are my main topics: abstract, introduction, studies related to organic farming, material methods, and result and discussion, conclusion, and references. Then this is my brief abstract. So what are the disadvantages of using fertilizers, pesticides? So we consider organic farming the best method in agriculture. The present studies adopted descriptive experimental research design. We have selected one village, that is Vanti Mamidipalli village, that is from Ainavolu Mandal in Hanamkonda, Telangana state. We total 6 farmers. I have taken the sample and size. Coming to introduction, the concept of organic farming. The concept of organic agriculture was developed in the earliest by Sir Albert Howard and King Rudolf Steiner and others believed that the use of animal manures, often made into the compost, crops, crop rotation, and biological based pest control result better farming system. Organic farming is an agriculture approaches advocates healthy products free from components that may humans and nature. They include, but they are not limited to the pesticides, insecticides, fertilizers, clones, GMO, genetically modified organs, and chemical, medicinal, hormones, growth boosters, etc. Then the basic idea of the organic agriculture is to provide food with optimum nutrients value and minimum dangerous ingredients with only permitted sustains used to the principle also require 100% natural for the livestock, and it is further proceeding without synthetics. Organic farming practices involve care for fielding employees, aim at maintenance the harmonious balance in the environment, keeping as and productive as possible. Organic farming was found to be a sustainable and option in order to counter the advanced effect of the modern agriculture. Then studies related to organic farming. Some stories are there in organic farm. I have collected some popular stories for organic farming. These are some organic farm I have taken. Then material and methods, research design, exploratory and experimental research design. Area of the study is one village from Telangana state. That is sampling technique, prosperous sampling technique, sample size. The total sample for the day study is 20. Distribution of the sample is one mandal of the Warangal urban district was selected randomly and from one village. Selected the 20. Responded were drawn from by using purposive random sampling method. Thus total 20 responded were drawn from. Then this is the Warangal urban district. This is the picture. This is the map of the Warangal urban district. I have taken in the Vanti Mamidipalli village, that is Ainavolu Mandal in Warangal urban. This is the geographical map, the satellite photo, Vanti Mamidipalli. That is a Gram Panchayati office. The objectives of the study: to study the organic farming practice in Warangal district, to assess the organic farming methods used in Warangal district, to develop intervention package to natural resources availability of the organic farming methods to conduct the intervention program for farmers in Warangal district. This is the first my object. What is the main object of this one? First object is coming to first object. We selected Ontimavidipalli village. In this village as 3,500 acres of land. All the farmers are depending local water resources and cultivation of crops such as paddy, turmeric, cotton, maize, chilies, and vegetables are major crops. So we interact with farmers and we observed whole village. We observed and that kind of what kind of organic farmers using in their village. We took interacting. Then second object is that is I have taken assessment to assess the organic farming method used in Warangal district. What is after interaction? So what after intervention with farmers about organic farming methods have been used in 2012. Nowadays they do not never following the organic farming methods like cow dung, cow urine, and kitchen waste and neem leaves. After observation, we assess soil testing also in their fields. We found many fertilizers and pesticides. So we discussed they are not practicing any organic farming methods. Then third objective is to develop intervention package to natural resources available of organic farming methods. After intervention of farmers, they were using chemical fertilizers. They're getting more income, so we explained disadvantages of using fertilizers, pesticide. Farmers know the importance of organic farming. So we explained how to develop organic farming methods and produced and with natural resources available in their locality like cow dung, cow urine, kitchen waste, and neem trees, etc. We developed without zero budget. They are without any amount. Mainly, we have taken three main topics. One is this is the profile of the Ontimavidipalli village. This is the Ontimavidipalli village. We have went to Ontimavidipalli village and we have conducted so many interventions to the farmers. These are our students, Pingle College. These are the PG students I have conducted, and I went to Ontimavidipalli village. This is the Gram Panchayat of the Ontimavidipalli village. Then we have met some farmers and types of crops. They have so many crops are there. One turmeric, then pulses, chilies. This is turmeric and cottons. This is the paddy field. Then object 2, this is cow dung. We went to assess the organic farmers method used in Warangal district. This is to soil testing. Our students, I went to village fields and we have tested what type of soil is present. That's alkalic, for example, alkalic or acidic. Then usage of fertilizers, and most of the farmers are using pesticides and fertilizers. So we have encouraged to use organic farm, mainly cow dung, cow urine, then neem plants. Then this is the kitchen waste. Then the third objective to develop the intervention package to natural resources, availability of the organic farming methods. Then organic farming methods and products. Mainly we have taken three important organic farming. One is Ghana Jeevamrutam, then Neem Astra, then kitchen waste. Then Ghana Jeevamruta preparation for requiring 2 bags of cow shed waste, 1 kg unspreaded soil, 1 kg pulse flour, and 3 to 4 kgs neem paste, and 1 kg jaggery, and 5 liters of animal urine. All these inputs are mixed thoroughly and kept for 48 hours without disturbing the jaggery. Gives the energy to the soil and activate the crop. The animal urine increasing micropopulation in the soil and elements. Fungus preparation of the Ghana Jeevamruta takes 4 to 5 days. Then this is the we are prepared. We are students and myself. We went to Vantimavidipalli and we have given the training programs to farmers. This is the cow shed waste. Then this is cow urine, cow unspreaded soil. Then pulse floor, jaggery, and neem paste. Then Ghanajeevamrita. This is the preparation of Ghanajeevamrita. See this picture, sir. This is the Ghanajeeva. Our students are preparing Ghanajeevamrita. Then second topic is Neemastram preparation. 110 liters of water, 2 kgs neem paste, 2 to 3 kgs of cow dung, and 2 to 3 liters of cow urine. All the inputs of the mixture thoroughly 8 days. Then this is the pictures of Neemastram. Water, cow dung, cow urine, and neem paste. This is the Neemastram we have prepared in field. Then this is the kitchen waste. All vegetable peels, all fruits peels, rice water, eggshells, and coconut shell, dry product like milk, cow, and buttermilk. Then for filter purpose, gunny bag is used. All these inputs are mixed thoroughly 8 days. Then this is the kitchen waste. This is our student is doing the kitchen waste preparation. Then fourth object is to conduct the intervention training program for the farmers in Warangal district. We went to then after 20 days we went to in Vantimavidipalli village and we have observed. This is the preparation for visual charts for farmers. This is the Gram Panchayati, Gram Sabha for Vantimavidipalli village. This is a paper clipping of our college. We went field trip. This is the paper clipping. Conclusion: organic farming methods are chemical-free product that does not cause any soil and quality of the product. Organic farming methods are oldest method have been used in past days, but now farmers have been not using organic farming. To conduct survey on organic farming methods in Vantimavidipalli village, after observation, the interaction with farmers, we got know that the farmers to use natural resources like neem trees, cow dung, cow urine, and kitchen waste, hold waste. We developed organic farming methods like the Jeevamrita, then Neemastram, and kitchen waste. And conducted 8 days training program on organic farming methods and practices on Vantimavidipalli village. After 2 weeks, GAP visited village and farmers practicing organic farming methods. In the same way, these kind of the untrained programs should be conducted in Telangana district to the awareness of organic farming methods and practices. We can see better results. Then these are my references. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It is a presentation. This was a clear visual picture of your research. Now, I would request the chairpersons of the session and the other research scholars, if there are any queries, they can ask the presenter.
All right, sir. First of all, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to present my research paper. My name is Ramakant Naik. I am a research scholar in Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai, India. And my research area is basically on agriculture-related disaster risk studies, how disasters like flood, drought, cyclone affect the agriculture, and how farmers cope with that, adapt to the situation, and bounce back from these threats. And to building resilience is the aim of my research. So today I'm presenting my one of my work that is the indigenous knowledge and traditional methods of coping and adaptation to flood and drought impact on sustainable agriculture in India. So this piece of research is done to understand the traditional and indigenous knowledge of coping and adaptation to flood and drought in India. So this paper basically talk about the indigenous and traditional methods that they are in the rural areas with the indigenous people, those who live with the nature and learn from nature, and they cope with disasters like flood, drought, cyclones, and they protect their farm. So how do they do that? That is one of the objective of my studies. So introducing to this topic, I would talk about the fact and reality. That is, these days disasters are more frequent. Uh, floods are occurring frequently every year, almost every year in India, in different regions, and it is affecting the agriculture. Although there are agricultural development in various regions with the help of irrigation facilities and new technology have adapted, but even though the disasters like flood, drought are affecting and that causing massive losses of agricultural production. So disaster impact are maximum in highly vulnerable areas. Vulnerable areas which are near to rivers, near to the lowland areas where flood easily get affected. So for that, we need to manage the flood management policy plan we need to have. And because agriculture in India is the backbone of Indian economy, and more than 80% of the people in India directly depend on agriculture for their livelihood and food security. So disasters like flood, drought, cyclone doesn't only cause loss of crop, it also cause loss of lives and property. So in Odisha, where my study is basically based in, is one of the leading disaster manager, and the policy and the disaster management method they have adapted is a model for other regions. So, but the indigenous knowledge and indigenous methods of coping and adaptation is far beyond the technology that we have today, because they have that knowledge how to tackle this situation when they are living with the nature. So indigenous knowledge and traditional method are being used to cope with and adapt to the challenges and certainty by the indigenous people in various regions in India. Indigenous people have local knowledge and traditional method to cope and adapt to survive even in the catastrophic and disastrous kind of situations. The current paper is an attempt to understand the impact of flood and drought on sustainable agriculture, and to understand and discuss the indigenous knowledge and traditional methods to cope and adapt to it. So for that, I have surveyed some literature that research done in India as well in globally. So this research I've already done on the local community, that indigenous community, how they're coping and how they are adapting this situation, what they are preparedness plan, what their response plan and mitigation measures they have adapted throughout their survivals. And the indigenous knowledge is a precious national resource that can facilitate the process of disaster prevention, preparedness, and response in cost-effective, participatory, and sustainable ways. It is cost-effective because the traditional methods and the indigenous knowledge is very, in a very minimal cost effective, because using technology is very expensive. Here in rural areas, it is very difficult to afford that. So if we have indigenous knowledge and traditional methods of coping and adaptation, mitigation measures that can help more people. So in order to achieve the aims of this study, these two objectives are formulated: to study and documenting the indigenous knowledge and traditional methods of coping and adaptation to flood and drought impact on sustainable agriculture, and to understand the disaster impact on agriculture and management strategy by the indigenous people with local knowledge system. So for that methodology, I have used the qualitative and explanatory method of research, which is mainly based on secondary literature and observation of researcher. Then the study focused on India and especially on Kalahandi district of Odisha. This research is based in Kalahandi as a case study where flood, drought, and cyclone also affect the agriculture of farm. And the study is an attempt to document and explain the indigenous knowledge and traditional methods used in agriculture sector to cope and adapt to the disaster-like situation. Well, so data collection have been already done with farmer interviews and observation and data from literatures and government websites. And this study is basically a mixed method, qualitative in nature, but some quantitative data have also used. And the findings are, you can see here, a farmer is trying to protecting his cropland. It is the paddy farm. The farmer is trying to protect it from the flood water. If this water will cover this crop up to a week long, then this crop will damage. So for that reason, he is trying to protect it with his own knowledge. So this is kind of traditional knowledge that I have accounted in my research. And these are some of the traditional methods and resources that they use in agriculture. So the first one is they used to cut the paddy, and this is the method how they these are the steps of post harvest methods. Instead of using technology, they are doing it manually with their local resources and local knowledge system. And this is a picture when a flood occur and the paddy crop is totally got damaged. So I'm just standing with the farmer and looking into the field where the flood happened. So this is how flood affect the cropland and crop get damaged. And then there are also uses of organic fertilizers to protect their agriculture in order to protect their farm from the impact of overuses of chemical fertilizer and pesticides, because it also affect the farm ecosystem and soil health quality. So in the study, what I have concluded is that the flood and drought are the major disasters that affect the most on sustainable agriculture, which cause massive crop loss and damage. Resilience building is very necessary for the better management of flood and drought-like situations in India. Indigenous knowledge is crucial at the very moment because the world is moving toward the devastating climate change crisis and global warming. Very soon, there will an environmental crisis, which will lead human beings to be struggling to survive sustainably in the planet Earth. There is a need to study and documentation of the indigenous knowledge and traditional methods in every corner of the country and all over the world. And only traditional knowledge and indigenous method of conservation of natural resources are suitable to be adapted to meet the sustainable goals. So on this note, I just completed my presentation, and uh, my the final point is that traditional methods and indigenous knowledge is very important, that we have to study and account it in the mainstream literature so that it can convey to the upcoming generation and that can protect our environment for our sustainability. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was indeed informative, and we should be ready for the disasters. And I agree with all the points you have presented here. Now we will wait for the questions, if there are any, from the chairpersons.
Dear colleagues, let me introduce to your attention.
So we will see. Next slide, please. We will speak about lease-land relation, agriculture, land lease, land valuation, and land size. Next slide. Let's start with relevance of the topic. Land resources are the source of national wealth. Proper use of this land certainly ensures sustainable economic development of the country and a high standard of living. Currently, land relations in Ukraine remain at the state of reform, the main purpose of which is to obtain a full right to sell their land. Already in the summer of this year, the sale of agricultural land began, which led to a lively discussion of market prospects, starting prices, demand dynamics, and speculative schemes. The evolution of land relation in different countries is different. The reason for this is that each country has its own historical path of economic development, level of economic and social development, area and structure of land, and more. The study of a systematic consideration of modern approaches to the regulation of land lease relation is different countries is extremely necessary because it will predict the development of land relations and avoid undesirable consequences in the reform process in Ukraine. Next slide. In the theory, land ownership is interpreted differently. Ukraine scholars interpret land ownership as the power to freely acquire or protect land ownership. Russian scholars use a somewhat simplified or elementary modern of property rights, which declares one thing, one property right. According to the European dictionary, the right of ownership is the right to own, use, and dispose of land. Next slide, please. Each country has a different total land area and accordingly a different area of agricultural land. Most countries have a fixed amount of agricultural land. The opportunity to expand agricultural land is insignificant or non-existent. However, in Ukraine, there is such an opportunity with the help of such a category of land as reserve land and land not provided for ownership and permanent use. Comparing the area of arable land in different countries with the production of grain, this dependence is not always directly proportional. This is due to the fact that agricultural is divided into two ways, intensive and extensive. Most agricultural enterprises unfortunately are developing extensively due to the expansion of areas. As arable land makes up most of the country, in addition, about 40% of agricultural land is owned by citizens in the form of shares, land shares, which cannot be cultivated on efforts. Table 1 clearly compares the volume of grain and legume production and the level of plowing in the countries closest to Ukraine. Thus, from the table, we can conclude that the level of plowing of the territory of the represented countries has a fairly wide range of fluctuation from 7% to 53.9%. And we can conclude that the volume of production of cereals and legumes depends more on the area of arable land and then on the level of plowing. Also, we almost the same area of arable land, the production of these crops is appropriately different. Thus, the way of farming is of paramount importance. An important issue in the field of ownership of agricultural land is the size of agricultural enterprises. The agrarian policy of the developed country of the world envisages measures to prevent the concentration of too large tracts of land in one hand. Restrictions on the area of agricultural land owned by some countries are shown in Table 2. So in Ukraine, the law sets the maximum allowable area of agricultural land owned by one person, 100 hectares. It is worth noting that the lease term is different in different countries. Many of them are set minimum and maximum allowable terms. On the screen, you can see the countries with both deadlines. In general, prices for agricultural land in European countries differ significantly. The most expensive lands are located in such countries as Switzerland, the Netherlands, Australia. The cheapest lands are lands in such countries as Latvia and Bulgaria. Comparing some neighboring countries, we can conclude that the most expensive agricultural land is in Poland, and land at low prices can be purchased in Moldova. Next slide, summarizing the above, it should be noted that on one of the problems of further development of lease relations in our country is the lack of experience and the problem of state regulation of land lease relations in relation to the new conditions. The practice of development countries shows that the free market does not mean an unregulated market. Thus, the significant experience of state regulation of land lease using legislative, economic, and administrative levers, which has been accumulated in other countries, can be used in the regulation of land lease relation in our country. To increase the efficiency of leased land use, it is expedient to create integrated enterprises, extend lease agreement, conduct land certification and inventory, form a database on the movement of land ownership, stringent state control over their rational use, and introduce incentives to improve their quality characteristics. It should also be emphasized that the main mechanism by which the state influences the development of land is the system of legislation, which it controls their process. Market relation, especially in agriculture developed countries, are clearly regulated and carefully planned. This indicates that it is necessary to create effective mechanism for land lease today without waiting for the formation of the land market. Thank you for listening. If you have questions, you can ask me now or find me in Instagram and Facebook and send me messages. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It was an informative presentation indeed. Now we shall wait for the questions if there are any.
Can finish it these days, and I want to say great wishes for all of you, and want to thank all the participants, speakers, and organizers for these days, especially for Dr. Chirag Patel for this day, and see you all tomorrow for the second day. Best wishes.
So, as all papers have been presented and have been evaluated by our chairpersons on pure qualitative basis, I take a step towards the end of this session for the vote of thanks. Now, I take this opportunity to propose a vote of thanks. Firstly, I would like to thank our first guest, Professor Yuri Lupeko, for being present here and performing the duties as a chairperson. Secondly, I would like to thank our second chairperson, Dr. Andriy Naida, for blessing and motivating us with her presence. Thirdly, I would like to thank Dr. Chirag M. Patel for being with us and sharing the valuable time with us. Next, I would like to thank all the research scholars who presented the papers here and the research students who have shown interest in taking part in this event and making this event a success. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the organizing team as well as the institutions who collaborated to make this event a success. Please note that all the participants have 18 more days till 31st of December 2021 for paper article submission for the publication in conference special issue. Publication process will start after all selected articles papers converted as per standard publication format. Participants presenters will receive e-certificate till 17th December 2021. Hard copy of the certificate and proceeding book will after 20th January 2022. Online publications tentative date is 10th January 2022. We are grateful for your presence with given time and efforts. Our well wishes for the future collaborations and participations are with you. The link of the feedback is given in the chat box by the technical team. Please submit your responses with a positive note and the approach. I declare the session ends here. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you